Okay, Ashen. Hi everyone, very good evening to all of you. Once again, I welcome you all on your beloved platform of PW OnlyIAS, and this is me, your Pavan sir, in your Titan batch. And today we are going to start with a new section of Indian history, that is your ancient Indian history. And formally, we are not going to start this class today, but simply I'm going to give you an orientation or introduction to this class. And so before moving ahead, I would like to welcome you all who have joined this session. So let me welcome you first. Hi Vikas, hi Kashish, hi Saika, hi Ankit, and hi everyone. Nivedita, Vishal, Apsana, Reshma, and everyone. Very good evening, Lokesh, Vikas, Siv, Mani, Matri. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Just because of certain technical issues, we are late to start with the session. But कहते हैं ना कि end well is everything is well. So it is not the end, it is the start. But definitely we will meet with a beautiful ending of the session. So let me welcome you once again, Viral. Then I am unable to read you some of your names. So Saika and everyone. Very good evening, everyone. So hi, Zara, Bharat, Himanshu, Vaseem, Tushar, and everyone. Very good evening, everyone. Amrin, thank you for your concern. I'm a bit better now. Not completely, but a bit better. So can I start with the session? So hi Pichiti, hi Vikas, hi Lal Ray, Ruth, Aviral, Ongole, Ankit. I'm sorry if I have misnamed someone. Good evening, everyone. Very good evening. Very good evening, everyone. So today I'm going to start with, the session. It's not the formal beginning of your ancient Indian history, but definitely I'm going to introduce this particular segment of history with you people. And I'll discuss a little bit about your syllabus, what your syllabus says, and we'll try to decode the syllabus, how we have to, proceed with this segment of the history. So these are certain things. Then we will try to analyze the PYQs also. We'll try to understand the weightage of this particular segment of history, that is your ancient Indian history, within the large chunk of history itself. Then there are some couple of topics that I will cover today. So that is just the part of just to make you aware with this segment of history. So and let me go with this class first, Millie. We will talk about that. Thank you, Amrin. I was also missing you people. That will be done, Vishal. Most probably that will be done on Sunday, the coming Sunday. There's only one class left that I will cover on the Monday. Okay. Okay. So let me continue with this session. So this is just the beginning of the session. So see here, this is the Telegram group. You people can join it. So now we are going to start with the ancient Indian history. Now, first of all, before starting anything, we need to know what is our boundary, what is our limit. And just to know our limits within this segment of history, we need to understand what exactly our syllabus is, what it says, so that we could define ourselves while we are going with this particular subject, a segment of history. So let me introduce you with this segment. So this is a syllabus. So this is the syllabus of your prelims. If you go by the syllabus, what is prescribed by UPSC, in regard to history, you will have, there's a very few words, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So there are only 7 words that defines the syllabus of UPSC in your, the prelims, as far as history is concerned in prelims. So history of India and Indian national movement. So this much is only prescribed by UPSC. When it is so simple, history of India and Indian national movement, there is only one thing that is well pronounced, and that is that's your just give me a moment, and that's your national movement, Indian national movement. This is the only thing. Indian national movement. That is only well pronounced. Otherwise, it is just history of India. it is prescribed as history of India. It includes ancient Indian history, it includes medieval Indian history, and of course your modern Indian history. It's not only Indian national movement, it's just a part of it, your modern Indian history, but the focus is over Indian national movement. But if you have, if you will try to analyze the PYQs, that is called previous year's questions, specifically if I talk about the last 5 years, you can easily visualize that the focus has been shifted in the last 2-3 years from modern to ancient India, But this shift is not permanent. It may be temporary, but these days it is the trend that number of the questions are coming in good numbers in comparison to the modern history in your prelims examination, right? So even this statement is not very much relevant. Indian national movement, that is indicative that what we usually try to understand, that freedom movement or Indian national movement is much more focused than any other segment of history. Are you getting me? So this is not even justifying the trend of UPSC these days. But anyways, history of India, that includes your ancient Indian history, medieval Indian history, and modern Indian history. And modern Indian history itself includes the segment that is the Indian national movement. So now you could easily understand that the syllabus, what UPSC has prescribed, is not sufficient. We need to decode it. Definitely we will decode it. Now, coming to the other slide, this is the syllabus of your mains, right? History, as far as history is concerned, that is related to GS paper 1. GS paper 1. So paper 1, this is your essay, and this is GS paper 1, that is called paper 2. So this paper 2 is paper 2 is paper 2 is just GS1. This is GS1, right? So either you can say paper 2 or you can say GS1. Paper 1 is your essay, paper 2 is your GS paper 1, 3 is GS paper 2, 4 is GS paper 3, 5 is GS paper 4, right? And 6 and 7 are your optional subjects. Are you getting me? So if I look into the syllabus of the mains, what is prescribed by UPSC, so it says that in GS paper 1, general studies, that includes Indian heritage and culture, history and geography of the world and the society. So when I am going to simplify it, you can have the 3 components here. One is your history, other one is your geography, and then is your society. But even the syllabus of history is not clearly mentioned over here. The syllabus of geography is not very much clear here. Even the syllabus of society is not very much clear, right? You need to decode it. You need to go for a micro analysis of the syllabus prescribed by UPSC. So GS paper 1, Indian heritage and culture, that includes your art and culture, right? Then history and geography of the world, So my concern is with the history. So it is the history of the world. So the history of the world includes ancient Indian history, then your medieval Indian history, your modern Indian history, of course post-independence India, and world history as well, and then art and culture also. So this is what is broadly we can say ancient Indian history, medieval Indian history, modern Indian history, art and culture, post-independence, and the world history. 4-5 years back, if I go, not much, hardly 3 years back or 4 years back, in fact, just before 2022, if I go before that, then generally what you were suggested that in mains you will get questions from art and culture, modern Indian history, post-independence India, and your world history. The questions are not coming from ancient Indian history and the medieval Indian history. Indian history. Are you getting me? So questions are not coming from ancient Indian history, medieval Indian history. They are not, I mean, these 2 segments of the history are not important for your mains. But if you look into the question PYQ of 2022 and 2023, you can easily find questions from ancient India as well as medieval India in your mains examination. So you cannot deny that we cannot expect question from ancient Indian history in mains, that is in GS paper 1, we cannot expect question from medieval Indian history, that is in GS paper 1. Even you can expect question from ancient Indian history, medieval Indian history in your mains examination. I will show you some of the questions from 2022 and 2023. The questions has been, what the question has been asked by the UPSC. Is it okay? Now, so these are the segments. So this is GS paper 1. So this is general studies, Indian heritage and the culture, history and geography of the world and the society. So these are 3 segments now. Let me show you something more slides. So now decoding of the syllabus. If I decode the syllabus, you can get ancient Indian history, medieval Indian history, art and culture, and this includes also modern Indian history, and that includes post-independence India, includes PII stands for post-independence India, and WH stands for, that is called your world history, right? So within the syllabus of mains, you need to study thoroughly ancient Indian history, medieval Indian history, of course art and culture is there is no problem, modern Indian history, that is also well pronounced, then post-independence India and the world history, right? So this is what your syllabus is prescribed. Undecoded in very simple way. Syllabus of mains, that is art and culture, I'm not going to discuss about it. I will let you know when I will be teaching you art and culture. Now, before we start any segment that is given from a broader syllabus, that is here we are talking about the history, then you need to know, sir, where I have to focus. What is the weightage of this particular segment of this this broader subject of history, that is ancient Indian history. So what is the weightage of this? So we need to understand first, okay, how many questions are coming from ancient Indian history in your prelims, how many questions are coming from medieval Indian history, and how many questions are coming from modern Indian history, etc., and art and culture as well. So I have taken the reference of the last 5 years, 2024, 2023, 2022, 2021, 2020, right? So these are the 5 years, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 5 years. And this is the first row is indicative of the questions asked from ancient Indian history. So in 2024, there were 9 questions straight away from ancient Indian history. 9 questions from ancient Indian history. This is 9 questions. That is a very good number of the question from ancient Indian history. In 2003, not less, it was 8 questions from ancient Indian history. In 2022, again it was 8 questions. In 2021, again 8 questions were from ancient Indian history. And 2020, there were the 11 questions. If I go a bit back and analyze the question papers of the last 10 years, then we can easily understand that in the good times, there were the maximum 11 questions asked from ancient Indian history, and that was in the year 2013, 2014, and 2020. So even in 2020, there was 11 questions. In 2013, again there was 11 questions from ancient Indian history, and in 2023, again there was 11 questions from ancient Indian history. So now you could understand 8 to 9 questions if are coming straight away from ancient Indian history. So these days, this particular segment of history is very much significant. Now, coming to medieval history. In 2024, there were 1 question. Then this year, there was only 1 question from medieval history in prelims. Then in 2023, there were 3 questions from medieval history. In 2022, there were 7 questions. Again in 2021, there were 3 questions. And in 2020, there were 2 questions. And in good times, there were 8 questions in 2014 from medieval Indian history. So even more or less, you can get 3 to 4 questions on an average every year from medieval Indian history. It may dip to 1, but on an average, you can get 3 to 4 questions from medieval Indian history that you can expect. Now coming to modern history. So in 2024, there were only 2 questions from modern history. Then in 2023, there were 3 questions. In 2022, there were 4 questions. In 2021, there was 9 questions. 2020, there were 8 questions from modern history, and in good times there were 18 questions that was in 2014 from modern Indian history, right? So by analyzing this ancient, medieval and the modern, excluding this art and culture, you can easily understand that these days the focus is towards ancient Indian history, but we cannot rely completely over these data. But definitely the trend says that the number of questions are coming in good numbers from ancient Indian history, right? And we cannot compromise with ancient Indian history. That is a very significant section on the portion of the GS part, as far as the GS part in prelims is concerned, right? So there is a very good number of questions that is coming straight away from ancient Indian history. Now, coming to art and culture. So in 2024, you can say there's no questions. Then 2023 there were 7 questions, 2022 4 questions, 21 5 questions, 20 that is 4 questions, and in 2014 there are 10 questions. But we cannot segregate the questions of art and culture completely from ancient and the medieval Indian history. Sometimes the questions of art and culture also overlapping with the ancient questions of ancient and the medieval history. So there are some questions you can say that they are coming from ancient history, they are coming from medieval history as well. Are you getting me? So altogether, ancient and art and culture makes a very significant portion of GS paper 1 in prelims. Now, coming to the mains part. So this is the data that we need to mine here for your mains. Ancient, medieval and modern world and the post independence India. This PII stands for post independence India. Post independence India. So in 2023 there were 2 questions. 2023, 2024 still mains is awaited. In couple of days the mains will start now. Then we will see how many questions have been asked from ancient history, medieval history, modern history, world history, or post independence India, or art and culture in the paper of 2024 mains. But in 2023 there were 2 questions that was straight away from ancient Indian history, right? In 2022 again there were 2 questions from ancient Indian history. 2021 there was 1 question. Then 2020 there was 1 question. 2019 there was again 1 question. You can even these questions 2021 and 2020, the questions were in regard to literary sources. As far as my memory says me, these questions were in regard to the literary sources, right? So you can either put it into the art and culture, or you can consider it in ancient Indian history itself, because so without understanding the sources, without getting the knowledge over the sources, we cannot move deep into the history. Ancient history or medieval history, or it is modern history. But as far as ancient history and medieval history is concerned, sources are very much important to reconstruct the history. So these questions are from the literary sources. So there are 2 questions, 1, and there's 1 question. From medieval history, there's only 1 question, that is in 2023. But there are no question in 2022, 2021, 2020, and 2019 from medieval history in your mains part. Now, as far as modern history is concerned, you can get a constant. There are 2 questions coming directly from the modern history, 2019 to 2023. So there's again 2 questions, and there's 2 questions, right? Now, even the world history, these questions are infrequent from world history and post-independence India. There was no question from world history in 2023. There was no question from world history in 2022 even. But in 2021, there were 1 question. And in 2020, there was again no question. Then 2019, there was only 1 question from world history. As far as post-independence India is concerned, there was 1 question from post-independence India in 2023. But there was no question in 2022, 21 and 2020. In 2019, there were 1 question from post-independence India. So this is what the trend of the questions asked from the different sections of the broader syllabus of your history, right? So now you can easily understand by analyzing the previous 5 years question paper, whether it is of your prelims or your mains, you cannot, it is simply indicated that you cannot compromise with the segment of ancient Indian history. And there is a logic for that. So you cannot compromise your ancient Indian history. And you have to put more efforts if we go by these trends in ancient Indian history. Are you getting my points? So ancient Indian history, these are very much vital. They are very much vital section. Good numbers of questions are coming in mains as well as in the prelims. Now, let me show you some of the questions. The mains questions. Question of mains. The questions from history asked in 2023 are, see, the first two questions are from in 2023. Now you can read this question. Question number 1, explain the role of geographical factors. Explain the role of geographical factors towards the development of ancient India. Ancient India. Ancient India. Are you getting me? So what is the contribution of geography in shaping ancient Indian history? So it includes all the aspects, societal aspects, economic aspects, political aspects, cultural aspects of ancient Indian history. Even the development of the philosophy, in the development of philosophy, even geography played a significant role. So this question is very applied, was very applied, that was asked in 2023. And this is completely, you can say, you can put this question into the category of ancient Indian history. Now, question number 2, that was also asked in 2023 UPSC mains. What are the main features of Vedic society? So it is talking about the features of Vedic society. Then, of course, also talking about the features of Vedic religion. So there are two aspects, there are two dimensions rather in this question, that is about the Vedic society and the Vedic religion. So in the first half of this question, there are two dimensions, Vedic society and Vedic religion. You need to talk about the characteristics, features of this Vedic society and the religion. Now, do you think some of the features are still prevailing in Indian society? Indian society. Are you getting me? In fact, whenever we are going to study history, we need to understand the continuity and changes happening in the present day and going to happen in the days to come. So without understanding the continuity and the change model in history, we cannot reconstruct history. We cannot be benefited. We can't be benefited from the knowledge of history. So we need to understand what is the significance of history, how the innovations of the past are still relevant, are continuing, and putting a huge impact over the humanity. So we need to understand it. So significance of history is very much important. Relevance of history is very much important. Its impact on the present day is very much important to understand, to analyze and understand. So we will try to understand it as well. So this is one of the aspects that we usually ignore while doing our preparation of ancient Indian history. But we are not going to compromise with anything. And that's why we are analyzing all the questions. There are a few questions, but as a teacher, I have analyzed all the questions in the last 10 years for you people. So you don't worry about anything. We are not going to compromise with anything while we are into this session. Now, the third question that is coming, the third question, what were the major technological changes introduced during the Sultanate period? So technological changes, major technological changes it is talking about, that was of the Sultanate period. Of course, it is one of the development, that is significant development, science and technology, technological development. These are the important aspect of a particular period. Without knowing the scientific temperament, without knowing the technological developments, we cannot assess or evaluate that particular segment of the history. So it is not related to art and culture, that is directly coming from the medieval Indian history. When we are going to study about the society of Sultanate period, when we are going to study about the political aspect of the Sultanate period, then why we can't study the development of the science and technology during Sultanate period? So it is also related to, that's a pure medieval question. That is not related to your art and culture. It is not related to art and culture. People may categorize it into the category of the art and culture question, but it is directly from the medieval Indian history. Are you getting me? So this is the question, that is, there are 3 questions asked in 2023 UPSC mains. There is no question from art and culture. There are 3 questions, 1, 2, 3. The first 2 questions are related to your ancient Indian history, and the last question, that is third question, that is directly coming from medieval Indian history. Now, coming to 2022, there was one question in 2022. Discuss the main contributions. So that is the contributions of Gupta period and of course Chola period. So, and Indian heritage and the culture. Discuss the main contribution of the Gupta period and the Chola period. To Indian heritage and the culture. Though, as a tell in the words, you can see there is Indian heritage and the culture. So you may categorize it into the category of art and culture. But why this question has been asked? If you analyze this question, discuss the main contributions of the Gupta and the Chola. First of all, there should be a question in your mind. Why these 2 periods are being compared? Why these 2 periods are being compared? I'm just giving you an idea to this question. Gupta is the representative of North India. So that is related to North India. And the Cholas are related to South India. So some of the historians, some of the scholars, just because of the various development during the Gupta period, this period is known as the golden period. Of course, there is a historical debate how far we can say it a golden period. Was it limited in some sense? So that is a matter of historical debate. I'm not going into that debate. But there is a group of the historians or the scholars, they suggest that this Gupta period is a golden period. At least we can say it, not of ancient Indian history, at least we can say it for the North India. And the Chola Empire is the representative of South India. Again, during the Chola period, these Cholas we are talking about, there's the imperial Cholas, medieval Cholas. So during the period of imperial Cholas or the medieval Cholas, there was a huge, immense development in art and architecture both. Even literary, there was a literature also remarkably developed in this period. So it was, we can say, in a way, we can say it was the golden period of the South India. So this is the logic. And without understanding the historical context, we cannot understand the essence of this question. If we are not able to understand the essence of this question, I'm damn sure that you are not going to justify with this question. Definitely you will write. Whatever your knowledge in regard to Gupta period, you will put here. Whatever knowledge you are having with in regard to the Cholas, definitely you will write it here. You will vomit all the things on your in the main question paper. But I'm damn sure you are not going to justify with this question. So without understanding the context of the question, I don't think one can justify with the question that has been asked by the UPSC. And it is my personal conviction in regard to this question is that without understanding the historical context, the Gupta period and the Chola period, we cannot justify with this question. So I personally believe this question is also from ancient Indian history. Are you getting me? Is it okay? Are you getting my points, everyone? First, let me know what I want to convey you. Is it clear to all of you? Can you please let me know? Everyone, please. So this is the one thing that I want to make you clear. Okay? It is clear to everyone? That's good. Okay. Now, before embarking over the over the different chapters of ancient Indian history, there are some concerns commonly for every student. I just want to address those questions in the very first class itself, that is in this orientation class itself. And there are some historical aspects that I believe should be cleared in this orientation class itself, that I will be doing after making you clear over the concept of BC-AD on the timeline. So do you have any problem in this? What is BC? What is AD? What is CE? What is BCE? Even there is one more word that is called PD. But first of all, I would like to make you understand what exactly is this BC, what exactly is AD, what is the recent debate on this, why this is disputed now, why another timeline is suggested. As far as my concern is, Bikram, is concerned, that timeline gives you an understanding of a particular period. So in initial period, it will give you a background to understand the developments in a given period, but not too much. I don't think that you should be burdened with all the timelines and all the facts of the time, but definitely it will help you to understand history. There's no problem to that. Okay, now, so what is this AC and what is this BC? AD and BD. So say here, this is a timeline. This straight line, this green line is your timeline, right? And this is your mark, that is called what? That is called, you can say it, the birth of the Christ. Christ. This BC is what initially it is called before Christ. Before Christ, that is called AD, that is called Anno Domini, that is after the Christ. That is what? That is called in the year of the Lord Jesus. That is called Jesus. So that is after the death of, what I say, that is called Jesus. After this, in the year of the Lord's. So that is called AD. Now, so so we have to take some reference point. So this was the Christ. We are taking the Christ. So before Christ is called BC, and after Christ, in the life of the Christ, that is called AD. Simply that is called Anno Domini. Are you getting me? There are some basic information I would like to share with you here. That there was a person whose name was Dionysius. Let me tell you who was this. Just give me 1 minute. This was Dionysius Exiguus in 6th century AD. In 6th century AD. AD, that is in the life of the Jesus, not before the Jesus. So there was a person whose name was Dionysius. He was given a responsibility to decide the date for the Easter. So when he was in the process of deciding the date of the Easter, he was in need of a timeline. And that's why he had to take some reference point, and he opted the life of Jesus as a reference point. So before his life, the time is considered as before Christ, and in the life of what I say, in the life of, in the years of the Lord, that is called AD. That is called Anno Domini. Are you getting me? But there is a recent debate. What is the recent debate? There was a controversy, rather. This is not the debate, this is rather it was a controversy that this, classification or this kind of the timeline was non-neutral. It was non-inclusive. Why it is non-neutral? Why it was non-inclusive? Let me tell you. It was non-neutral means what? That it is not secular, because it is affiliated. This kind of a timeline is affiliated with the Christianity. So this is non-neutral. Are you getting me? This is not inclusive. That is not considering the sentiments of other sects and the religion. So this kind of a controversy started over it. And that's why it was felt that there should be some kind of renaming of this kind of the timeline. So now this BC is considered as before Common Era, and AD is known as your Common Era. Just to make it more inclusive, just to make it neutral, that is called communally I'm talking about, right? So if you counter anywhere, instead of BC, there is BCE. This is the same thing. What is our understanding? So this is our BC, that is called before Common Era, and CE is equal to your AD, that is called Common Era is equal to Anno Domini. Are you getting me? So now let me make you clear one thing. Now this AD is equal to your CE now, and this BC is now BCE, that is called before Common Era. Is that fine? Now let me tell you. So it is nothing related to, it is a bit you must have seen a number system. So you can imagine a figure here that is called 0 in the numbers line, and towards the left of this, this quadrant, this is what? This is your -1. You can say -100. This is your -200. This is your -300. This is your -400. This is your -500, and so on and so forth, right? So this is how we are distancing away in the time. And this 0 is here what? There's a significance of this, the Christ, if we are considering BC and AD. Otherwise, it is now Common Era and before Common Era. So if we are moving in this direction towards left, so this is what? So the bigger figure is -100. So I'm telling you now, coming to this side first. Now let me clear here. Now this is again, this is your 100. This is your 200. This is your 300. This is your 400. This is your 500. Until here, this is your 2024. Are you getting me? 2024. So when we are going to write a period from the Common Era, a period from the Common Era, period that is the time period between the two, a period that is between the two reference points. So we will write, suppose 200 to 300, because 200 is lesser figure. So 200 to 300 CE, or you can write it is AD. But if I am coming to this side, I will have to write it -300 to -200 BC, or that is called BCE. Both are the same things because this is a lesser figure. Okay? So the counting starts from infinite towards this 0, and from this to infinite towards this 0. So this is the pattern. Okay, are you getting me? Is that fine? So this is what the BC and AD, right? Now, one more thing. Now, I want to make you one thing more clear here. If we calculate the exact time of any past development at this point of the time, how we will calculate it? Just I'm giving you a question. Just try to understand it through an example. You all, I believe you all would be aware with the Vedic culture. Everyone, you must be aware of the development of the Vedic culture. This Vedic culture developed in India in 1500 BC. So this Vedic culture begins in India, originates in India, that is in or you can say Vedic culture in 1500 BC. This is fine with everyone. Now my question is, in 2024, how many years we have spent with the origin of Vedic culture till date? Can you tell me? Can you give me the answer? Can you give me the answer? Are you getting my question? How many years we have spent after the origin of the Vedic culture in 2024? That's why we are writing here. It is not negative. We never write it, but rather we have to write it this way. 200, simply this is the BC. Just to make you understand through the mathematical calculation, Manasi, right? So this is the way to write. This is the mathematics, and this is your history. Now, are you getting my question? So, how many years? That is good. 3, 5, 2, 4. So everyone, so there are some of you have responded well. 3, 5, 2, 4. But I'm also expecting from Indian cricket team, Amit Kumar, Yogesh Kumar, Vikas Shah, Sejal, Saika, everyone. So wonderful, you people have given your answer. Sonali, Bansi, Swati, Vinod. So even some of you have given the explanation, but your Vinod, your calculation is wrong, I believe. Or you're right. I hope you are right. Or so why you people are giving 3600? I didn't get that. So can you tell me? Okay. So, Pravina, 5324. How is it possible? It is not possible. Now, Maitri, I'm looking at your messages. I'm scared with your emojis. Okay. So now, answer will be what? This is your 1500, because from 1500 years here to 0. So 1500. Now we are into 2024. And then is your -1. Why -1? Because here we consider 1, 1 to 0, 0 to 1. Actually, this is a BC. Just after the end of 1 BC, we will start with 180. So 1 BC, the moment we spent 1 BC, we will enter into 180. There is no 0 here actually. Are you getting my points? So whenever you are going to calculate this time, so your answer will be what? Your answer will be 4, 2, 5, 3, -1, that is called 3, 5, 2, 3. So this many years we have spent so far after the origin of the Vedic culture. Got my question? Got my answer? Are you getting me? Are you getting me, sirs and ma'ams? Everyone got me? Agreed? So everyone should give me the party. I have given you today something. So it's the party time. Is it okay with everyone? I believe you must be okay with this. Clear? Pakka wala? Everyone enjoyed it? Okay, that's great. So this is the one thing that I want to make you clear. So I believe now the funda is very much clear. What is the concept of BC, AD, and then BC, E and CE. Got me? So I believe it is okay to all of you. Now, so concept BC and AD is clear on the timeline, right? Now, let me tell you something. So this is one thing that usually you get confused with this BC, AD, CE and BC. Now it is clear to all of you. Now, since we are in, in the class of history, so we need to understand what exactly is history. What is history? What is the significance or the relevance of history? Why we are reading all these Akbar, Babur, why we are reading about this Vedic culture, Mauryan Empire and all. What is the significance of that? So before taking a deep dive into the ocean of history, just tell me simply, what exactly is history? What exactly is history? Actually, history is nothing but simply, in a very simple words, is the history of the past. But it is very dangerous to say, and rather I'm modifying my statement. Can we say history is the past? Is the study of all the past? No, all the past is not history. History is the study of the past, that is fine. But my question is all the past is the part of history? Answer will be no. History is the study of the past, especially of the human activities. I believe some of you must have defined the syllabus of ancient Indian history from 20 lakh BC to 750 AD. 20 lakh BC to 750 AD. But my question is, why not we have stretched it far beyond 20 lakh BC? Because the initial, as per this date, the very first human activity came to our knowledge of this Indian subcontinent is from 20 lakh BC. But there was Earth, there were some lives even before that. But we cannot consider that time period for the study of history. So, I can say history is the study of the past, especially of the human activities, that is related to human activities. Are you getting me? So this is what is history. Now, the word history originates with the Greek word that is called historia. Ancient Greek word that is called historia. This history originates from historia. And this historia means inquiry, knowledge acquired by investigation. Now, this is some information here. I told you, history is the study of the past. A study of the past. I do agree with this definition. But can I say it is a complete definition? No. I agree with this definition. History is the study of the past, but it is incomplete definition. It is incomplete. It is not complete. Incomplete definition of history. It is incomplete definition. It is not the complete one. Incomplete definition. Is it fine? Study of the past of human activities. Human activities. Or in regard to the human activities. Then definition is complete. Now, the second question is, when we are going to reconstruct the history, definitely in this process, we analyze the different sources. The sources can be different kind of the records, manuscripts, etc. Some epigraphical informations may be there. So whenever we are going to reconstruct the history, we try to analyze the different sources of history. So when we are going to reconstruct history, this study of the past, it is based on the sources. Can I say all sources are equally important or useful for the reconstruction of the past? If there is some literary sources, there must be some kind of the narratives. Before the historians makes their own narrative. So can all those narratives be the part of history? Or they can work as the source of history? No, they cannot be. We have to be very logical. We have to draw some results. We have to make some conclusion, and that conclusion will be based on the rational inquiry or the valid inquiry of those historical facts. So all the facts of the past cannot make history. Are you getting my points or not? And that's why it needs what? That is called inquiry. And that inquiry should be valid one, that should be rational one. This should be the proper, that should be the proper investigation. Are you getting my points? So that's why if we go into the origin of this word, historia, that originates from a word that is called historia. And this historia means, that is an ancient Greek word, that means what? Knowledge acquired by investigation. So now you can understand why this term has been used to make the word history, why we have seen the origin of this word history from this ancient Greek word historia, which means rational inquiry, or we can say knowledge acquired by the investigation. Because all the facts, all the sources cannot make the part of history. It is only the valid information, the rational information after making a proper inquiry can be helpful in reconstructing the history. Is it okay? Is it okay? I believe it must be okay for you people now. So moving ahead now. Now, again, there is one more information for you. People say, or not people say, rather I would like to say, we know that a 5th century BC personality whose name is Herodotus is considered as the father of history. Why he is considered as the father of history? Why he is considered as the father of history? Because he was the first person, because this Herodotus was the first person to what? The person who systematically collected information, then those collected information was properly documented, and then it was properly analyzed to make historical account. So he was the first person to make systematic collection, documentation, and analysis to make a historical account. He was the first person. Even before that, the informations were being recorded. There were some narratives, but that was not what I say, that is called systematic collection, arrangement or documentation, or analysis to reconstruct the history. Now, for systematic investigation, he gathered information from various sources. He was not relying upon only one sources. Rather, he was what? Counter-checking one information from the other sources. So his dependency was not over the only one source. Rather, he was taking into consideration the different sources while reconstructing the history, including direct observation and interviews to create a comprehensive narrative. Just to give you the pure information, just to give you the pure historical information, he used to go for direct observation. He used to take interviews. Today, these things are called, you must have some kind of the questionnaires. You go in the fields and you get your questionnaires filled by direct interaction by the people. So the validity of such kind of information was more authentic. Now, analytical approach. He did not only systematically collected, recorded, or make an analysis. Rather, this systematic investigation was based on his direct observations, conducting interviews, and then analytical approach was an attempt to explain the causes and effects of the events rather than just recording them. It was not merely the collection of the data. It was not merely the collection of the facts and the historical figures. Rather, it was attempted by Herodotus to explain the causes and effect of events. It was not merely the compilation, it was not merely the recommendation, the collections. And this is the only reason, this is the reason he is rightly called in 6th century AD as the father of history. Now, again, there is one question for you. Who was the first person who called him the father of history? This was Cicero. He was a Roman orator. Cicero was the first to bestow upon him the title father of history. Let's have some information. And this is the great man. He is the great man, Herodotus. He is the great historian. He is the first historian. Known as the father of history. He wrote a book, Histories, and that was based on all the three parameters that I discussed over here, with proper systematic collection, documentation, analysis, systematic investigation, and then with proper analytics. Now my question is, what is history and why to study history? A few minutes back, I let you know history is the study of the past, and this past must have connection and association with the human activities. And this study of the past depends upon the examination, interpretation of the various sources. Depends on the examination, interpretation of the various sources. And then historians uses these sources to create narratives, to explain the causes and effects of the events. And why it is important? Why the job of historian as an informer to let you know the cause and effects of any event or incident. Why the job of a historian is important? Because it helps us to gain insight into the present. It gives us insight into the present and potentially guide future decisions. So the historical events, historical pasts guides us in the present and help us to take future decisions. So without knowing history, we cannot understand the modern civilization, our present, and we cannot predict future. We cannot secure future. We cannot remove committing mistakes if something has happened in the past on the similar lines. So without gaining knowledge from the past, without knowing the past, we cannot secure our present as well as the future. And that's why a proper investigation of the different sources of history is very much needed. It must be properly analyzed. It must be used by the historians to make narratives, to let others know about the causes and effects of any particular incident so that they can secure their present and future as well. And in this regard, we need to interpret historical facts. We need to analyze historical incidences, and even you can get the question in your UPSC examination. Now, I'm taking you back to the PYQ of 2023 so that you could have a better idea about that. So here is your question. What are the main features of Vedic society and religion? Do you think some of the features are still prevailing in Indian society? How many years we have spent from the Vedic society? 3523 years. More than 3500 years back. How we can compare this time to that time? How you can imagine that some of the religious as well as societal features are being continued from that period to this period? And just because of this, the job of these historians. And when question, even UPSC respect their jobs and ask question like this way. Now, contributions, cause and effect. Then role of geographical factors towards the development of ancient India. Ancient India must have faced devastations, must have faced invasions, devastations, even must have seen the development, the progress. So all the information in the past are documented well, analyzed well to secure present and the future as well. And that's why these are the questions asked in your examination. Hey everyone, are you getting me? Are you getting me? Is it clear? Is it clear to all of you? Is there anyone to respond me? Vidushi only, Rikesh. Where are others? Everyone, please give me. Okay. Okay. Sure. Let me move ahead. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Now coming to some other aspects. So this is your now history. Within a history, within this history, that includes ancient, medieval, modern, and all. I'm talking about the history, ancient history. So within this history, it can be divided into two, that is called prehistory, and then there is a documented history. Now you can easily understand. Prehistory is based on other sources than literary sources. There is no literary evidences. There is no literary records, no written information records. That is called prehistory, and that is largely coincides with the Stone Age. Largely coincides with the Stone Age. Stone Age. Then documented history. That is, we are having historical accounts. We are having written accounts. So this can be what? This can be like Mahajanpada period, Buddhism, Janpadas, Buddhism, Buddha period, Maurya period, etc. and so on and so forth. Mauryan period and so on and so forth. But you may raise a question that what about IVC, Indus Valley Civilization? Of course, Indus Valley Civilization, the people of Indus Valley Civilization were familiar with the writing. They had a script, but unfortunately, we have not yet deciphered that. That's why we cannot keep it in the category of documented history. Because if something is documented, it means what? It is carefully collected, it is documented and analyzed as well, right? But the the script of Indus Valley Civilization has not been yet decoded, so we can get it in the category of this prehistory as well. Otherwise, we can say proto-history. Proto-history is a very generic term used for those period which have having their written records, script, but those scripts have not been deciphered yet. So you can write it in the category of this proto-history as well. So in between there is a period that is called proto-history, and to this IVC belongs to this this period that is called IVC. Are you getting? So this is the one thing that I want to say with you. Now ancient Indian history. Now ancient Indian history, you can say if I have considered it from IVC till 750 AD to till late ancient, and that is from this is 750. That is 750. That is called 750. That is called 750. Early medieval, just at the onset of the early medieval period. But ancient history also goes back to 20 lakh BC back. Okay, and this period coincides with the Stone Age. So we can broadly categorize this ancient history into three phases: early ancient, middle ancient, and then late ancient period. So early ancient period is from IVC generally we took, but we will consider Stone Age also in this part. Then Middle Age, that is from 6th century BC, that is Mahajanpada period or Buddha period, till 320 AD, that is the beginning of the Gupta period. Then late ancient period, that is the decline of the Guptas till 750, that is the before the beginning of the early medieval India, that is called EMI, early medieval India, or you can say the feudalism in India, right? Now, so now let me tell you the importance of ancient Indian history. That is very much important. So now this is something significant I need to make a discussion upon. Are you ready for this? Hey everyone, are you ready for this? Hi everyone, where are you? No sir, I am here only. So the importance of ancient Indian history. Yes. So what is this importance of ancient Indian history? So understanding ancient history is crucial for appreciating what? The depth and richness of the modern Indian society. I just a few minutes back I let you know that to understand the present, to secure the present, to understand the present, and to secure the future, we need to know our history. We need to know our past. Our past, that we are the human beings. So we can say our past, right? So we can say it. So understanding ancient Indian history is crucial for appreciating the depth and richness of the modern Indian society. And of course culture. It provides insight into how past innovations and ideas continue to influence the contemporary life. This was a question 2023. How the Vedic society and religion influencing the present day society and religion. Are you getting me? Are you getting the question of 2023? And that's why this topic is important. Importance of ancient Indian history. So what is the importance of this ancient Indian history? Because it, help us to appreciate the depth and the richness of the variety of the modern Indian society. And culture, it provides insight into how the innovations of the past, the ideas of the past, continue to influence the contemporary life. Are you getting me? So the innovations of the past, ideas of the past, innovations. These innovations you can see in the field of science, technology, medicines. You can see in the architecture, you can see in the monuments building, a sculpture development, you can say it. Ideas, you can see the different mathematical ideas, philosophical ideas, metaphysical ideas, you can talk about it. So these are the things, these are that's the innovations of the past. And the ideas that are being continued in the present day, and how those innovations and ideas influencing the present day, the human being. Is it okay? So this is an important one. Now, one by one, I would like to tell you in this reference only how these innovations, how these ideas are impacting the humanity today, how it is impacting now. So what is the significance? This is called what importance and significance of ancient Indian history. So what is the significance of this? Can you tell me? One is that is your cultural foundation. Cultural foundation. What do you mean by this cultural foundation? How you can interpret this culture, the word cultural foundation. Now, let me tell you. I'm sorry. How we have discovered resources, how we have discovered resources, how we have utilized these resources for what? For making development, agriculture development, settlement, philosophies and everything. Are you getting me? So how we have discovered useful resources, utilized natural resources, and we developed agriculture, settlements, and of course, kingdoms. We must have seen the transformation from Zan to Zanpadas, Zanpadas to Mahazanpadas, and that Mahazanpadas into Rajya. So just because of this, just discovery of the resources, what like is iron, like agriculture, that is the fertile tract of land, water resources, etc. How these factors were working for the construction or transformation from Zanas to Samrajya. I'm giving you, discovering the resources. These resources can be of another things like mines, minerals, water, agriculture, land, the soil, your etc. So now I was telling you how this process, Janas, during Rigvedic period, the political organization of the Aryans was into tribal bands, and that was known as Janas. Then Jan and Janas were fighting for the sake of the land during the later Vedic period, and they were now developing into bigger Jana, that is called Zanpadas, because they had association with the land during this period. More association with the land during this period, that is called later Vedic period. During 6th century BC, these Zanpadas become even bigger, that is called Mahazanpadas. And you must have heard about the 16 Mahazanpadas, because there was a warfare going for more and more lands, and this was making Janpadas, that was transforming Janpadas into Mahazanpadas. And finally, there was the Magad. All the Mahajanpads were annexed, an empire was created. Are you getting me? That is called Mauryan Samrajya. That was an empire. That is called your empire. That was the Mauryan Empire, the first empire of India. This is your Mahajanpadas. That is, we must have heard about 16 Mahajanpadas. This is your Janpadas, Zanpadas, and this is your Zanas. Are you getting me? So, the cultural foundation. Are you getting my points? The cultural foundations. And the culture includes your societal aspect, your cultural aspect, religious aspect, your economic even aspect, that is your, the civilizational aspects, even the some of the political aspects as well. If you are transforming from Jana to the Samrajya, that is called your empire, that is also kind of cultural transformation. So this is how we understand the cultural foundations of the ancient past. So this is the one significant aspect, importance of ancient history, that it helps us understand the cultural foundations of our past. Now, technological and scientific advancements. How much we were civilized? What was our knowledge in mathematics, medicines, astronomy, metaphysics, everything that we can talk about. You must have heard about the Sankhya philosophy, and it has a very scientific basis. It gives explanation, atomic explanations. Are you getting me? So this is how we can say it. Technological, religious, and philosophical contributions. Now you can understand. This is a religious and philosophical contributions. Contributions means what? It is not only the emergence of various religions and the sects in ancient past. We have seen the emergence of Vedic culture, Vedic religion, Buddhism, Jainism, and more than 60 heterodox sects emerged during the 6th century BC. But what is so important? In spite of having this much religious emergence of this much of religious sects, community, and religion, they were happily living together. And that is what make India unified. Because since the beginning, we were united in the diversity. It helps us understand. It helps us to mend our present. It helps us to, it guides us to secure our future. So this is what religious and philosophical contributions. Social and political structure. You can talk about the caste system. You can talk about the untouchability. You can talk about the sati pratha. You can talk about the widow's condition. So this is social and political structure. That is the transformation, political structure. What kind of the structure was there? In spite of having different dynasties, dynastic rule, after 6th century BC, we had dynastic rules. We had different states. But what is so important? Having different dynasties, different territories, different empire, they had some kind of the commonality in their political structure. And that is also indicative of what? That is called unity of India. So the diversity of India, diversity of the ancient past also created unity. And that is the foundation of Indian culture. Now, coming to art and architecture. Full of stupa construction, cave constructions, temple constructions, monument, the palatial buildings, etc. So this is what that is called art and architecture. So it helps us understand how was our past. What was those innovations? What were those ideas that even today impacted present humanity? What's going on? Are you getting me or not? Is it okay? So this is the one thing that I wanted to say. This is the significance of ancient Indian history. Now, coming to ancient Indian history also helps us in understanding unity in the diversity. That is very much important. Now you can understand the cultural integration, religious harmony that I talked about, even having this much of the religion and the sect, different ideology, different practices, different kind of the rituals. We were coexisted. There was the coexistence of different religion and the sect. And this coexistence is what? That is called unity in the diversity. Linguistic diversity. Linguistic diversity. In spite of having this much of linguistic diversity, we have certain commonality. And that commonality is also indicative of what? That is called unity. Geographical unity. Geographical Indian subcontinent. We must have talked about Bharatvarsha. That is called geographical unity. This Bharat, the concept of Bharatvarsha is what? That is composed of Aryans, Dravidians, Northern India, Central India, Western India, Eastern India, Southern India, Deccan and all. So this was a kind of what that is called the geographical unity when we talked about the Bharatvarsha. And we had the references in the Vedic literature about the Bharatvarsha. So Bharatvarsha is not just a name, rather it is the indicative of what that is called geographical unity that we had in the past. That is the ancient past. The social systems. In spite of having this kind of the diversity, veracity, this kind of discrimination, what I say, that is called the different kind of the caste system, the community, caste system, there is a social system, caste, community also now with the advent of the Buddhism, Jainism, and later on with the Islam, Sikhism, we all are united together. So what India is, it is not only what I say, a particular religion. It is not representative of a particular language. It is not particular of one community. Rather, the basis of India, what India is what that is called unity in the diversity. That is not imposed on us. Rather, it is our culture. Rather, it is our practice. This is our culture. This is our practice. And we are used to of this unity in diversity. And this is the very much foundation for the great document, the Constitution of India, which is not merely a document of legal compilation. Rather, the Constitution of India is a document of mutual trust of each and every one of us. It's a document of the trust. It's a document of the confidence. It is the document of the faith. We all have faith, we all have trust on this document. Are you getting me? Are you getting me? So this is how ancient Indian history also helps in understanding the diversity. So we can appreciate how diverse the culture of India was. Language, religion have coexisted and contributed to unified Indian identity, to contribute unified identity. Historical perspective helps to understand the value and concept of unity in diversity in the contemporary India. So this is what history is. So history, let us understand the values and the concept of unity in diversity in contemporary India. How we are united in such a kind of diversity in the present day. That knowledge comes from history. It is a very beautiful line that I used for you people. Are you getting me? There are too many issues these days. Communal tensions, riots. There is a communal hatredness that is being spread over the university of the WhatsApp, and there are lots of social medias. Because still our social media is not well regulated. So there is a frenzy type of people, the fanatic people, spread any kind of a thing, any kind of the masses over there. But still we are united, we stand united, and we kept India what India was. Are you getting me? Hey everyone. So the concept of the Bharatvarsha, that is called geographical unity. So this is a what? This is the entire this part is what? That's called Bharatvarsha. So this is what? It is Pakistan, Afghanistan, South India, Deccan and all. This is some part of the Bangladesh also, Nepal also. So this is what? This is called the geographical unity. Geographical unity. That is Bharatvarsha. So Bharatvarsha is not merely a word. That is what? That is a connotation of a kind of unity that is called geographical unity that is coming from the past. In fact, I would like to tell you, this Bharatvarsha, the concept of Bharatvarsha is also the explanation of the transformation of tribal society to a geocultural, what I say, that is called geocultural marker. You know how this country is known as the Bharat? There was a tribe that is called the Bharat tribe. After the name of this tribe, after the battle of Dasragya, we will study it in the Rigvedic period. This country is known as Bharatvarsha. So initially it was just a tribe, and later on it expanded, assimilating all the diversity and making this country a Bharatvarsha. Are you getting me? So this is what? This was a tribal identity. Gradually it started expanding, assimilating all the kind of diversity, linguistic, cultural, religious, and making this subcontinent a beautiful Bharatvarsha. Got me? Is it okay with everyone? Is it okay? Okay. So now, concept of Aryavarta, this means land of Aryans. When Aryans came to India and settled in the Indo-Gangetic region, the entire north belt is known as Aryavarta. That is a cultural connotation. This is the part is called Aryavarta. Then Jambudvipa. You must have heard this term, Jambudvip. What is Jambudvip? It is one of the 7 islands. Jambudvip. There's a bigger dweep, island. So meaning island of the Jambu, that is called Jammu trees. Jambu is one of the 7 dweepas, islands or the continents, and represented the known world. It was often used to describe the territory of the greater India. So this is your Jambudvip. There's the entire part, it's called Jambudvip. Jambudvipe Bharat Khande. You must have heard this kind of the word when Panditji comes to your place for puja or for any kinds of rituals. So जब भी पूजा करते हैं, they say Jambudvipe Bharat Khande. So the term appears in various ancient context. Text. Even during the time of Ashoka, then during the modern period, you will counter this kind of the word that is called Jambudvipa. Jambudvipa was a bigger kind of the continent. Jambudvipe Bharat Khande. Jambu tree. Now, India, that is derived from the river Indus. Sindhu in Sanskrit, that is means name India, has its roots in the ancient Greeks and Persian references to this. So just after the name of this river, that's called Indus, we people are known as, this country is known as India and we are known as Indians. And this word India was very much popular during the time of the colonial period, during the time of British India. This word was very much used. And that was again, this was a colonial connotation, India's colonial connotation. They were not, they can use for this, this territory, they can use the word that is called Bharat, but they preferred to call this territory India. Why? Because it was given by the Europeans, by the Western people. Greek and Yunan Greeks have given this name to India. Now Hindustan, this means land of the Hindus. That is again for the North India. And this term was, very much popular during the medieval period, Sultanate period and the Mughal period. And this is again derived from the word Sindhu, that is called river Indus. These terms reflect. Now, my concern is not about I'm giving you information about these different kind of the words, Hindustan, Aryavart, Jambudipe, Bharatvarsha. But what is important, that is being reflected in the two lines. The terms reflects the rich and the diverse history of the Indian subcontinent, and each highlighting the different aspects of its cultural and geographical identity. So beautiful. Are you getting me? So what is the importance? These terms can be visualized as a reflection of rich and diverse history of Indian subcontinent, highlighting different aspects and cultural geographical identity of this territory. Is it okay with everyone? Hey everyone, is it okay? Is it okay? Hi everyone, is it okay with everyone? Where you people are? Huh? It's me only? Or still you people are here? Okay, Achit is here, Matri is here, Garvita is here, Vidusi is here, Trusha. Are you people enjoying? Are you enjoying this kind of the stuff? It's again the same thing. Yeah, Ram, thank you. Enjoying the session? What about this Ravi, Loan versus Anshu? Okay, so everyone is here. Ambar, Abhinav, Binandan, Kiran, Guls. Okay, so everyone is here. Yes, okay. Enjoying this kind of heavy informations at the time of your retirement. You people are supposed to retire now. For early morning again, you will have to start your new day. Okay. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, Trusha. Thank you. Thank you, Anuradha. Thank you. Thank you, Vipin. Okay. So this is the last thing that I want to discuss with you. That's the role of geography in the development of ancient India. That was a question even in your mains examination. Okay. So just give me 5 minutes. Allow me just to conclude the session. So role of geography in the development of ancient India. How this geography had shaped. So rivers and agriculture, must have seen. Indus Valley civilization, developed in the riverine courses. The towns, ancient towns, the first urbanization, that is Indus Valley civilization, that was in the river courses. Agriculture, that's a fertile tract of the land. Then abundance of the water, produces surplus. This surplus was used for secondary economic activity, that is called trade and the commerce, and that led to the development of the towns, cities, and that will also transform the political structure from Jana to Janpad, Janpad to Mahajanpadas, and Mahajanpadas to Samrajya. So this is what rivers and agriculture. Mountains and the protection. During that time, we did not have Bofor's kind of artillery with us, so we were protected. our culture was protected just because of the Himalayan river system, Himalayan mountain system, and then we had Indian Ocean at the end of the India, that is in the southern part of India. So we were mountains and protections. Trade and cultural exchanges were there. So that was through riverine courses. There was through the ports, right? Then there was, the roadways. There are different kinds of trade routes. Climate and the diversity also gave the diversity to Indian to India. You can say it in different ways. It has a huge impact over the sociological aspect, the geographical aspect, anthropological aspects as well. So climate and diversity and the natural resources that was harnessed to develop Indian culture and the society, right? So the role of geography in the development of ancient India, this we can understand through this. That much I just want to tell you, guys. You can write it. So this is the map of ancient India. Now the timeline of ancient India. We will start tomorrow from here only. Timeline of ancient India. So we will start our discussion from 20 lakh years ago, 750 AD, Paleolithic period, Mesolithic period, Neolithic period, Indus Valley civilization, everything that is given the timeline. And I believe that is not required. Just to make you understand in which time period what actually happened. That is the real demand of this examination. Otherwise, I don't want to boggle you with too many of the dates, too many of the time periods, but definitely I will give you some kind of the timelines. Definitely I will give you the mind maps. Definitely I will give you the proper analysis of each and every topic. And this analysis actually is needed. And mind maps is important for your records. That will be important. And just for your reference sake, just to make you understand, just to make an in comparison, I will come up with the different kinds of timelines. Otherwise, I will not suggest you to go by this much of the timelines. This is not required. Not absolutely not required. Okay. Is it okay, everyone? So let me finish it. So I believe you must have enjoyed the session. What is your opinion on that? Are you guys to have you enjoyed this session? Garvita? Trisha, yes, this time has been changed from 7:30 to 9:30. So now I'm actually getting feeling of UPSC aspirant. Who was this? Just because of you. Okay, that's great. Oh, thank you, Vaibhav. No, thank you. Thank you, Pooja. Thank you, Trisha. Thank you, Diksha. Thank you, everyone. Actually, this was not from my side, Aman. It was just because of technical issue over here. Okay. Because there was some issue. There was some technical snag developed during this, just before the session. Thank you, everyone. So lots of love and the blessings. Thank you, Chitesh. 7:30, Bansi. 7:30 to 9:30. So can I end the session now? So see you tomorrow. Catch you tomorrow. Till then, bye-bye. Take care, everyone. Lots of love and the blessings. Have a wonderful night. Done? Okay.